I have put the best effort I can to try to see the best in these people. I have made an effort. And it just, you know, to a lot of the audience, it's humiliating. They're like, this is embarrassing. And you guys are right. You guys are right. What do I look like going to war with these people with Moist Critical for someone that then puts a death threat on me? What do I look like platforming and losing my YouTube channel, bringing on Nick Fuentes, and then he says, oh, all you care about is YouTube and clout? What do I look like when Tate's in jail and when Nick Fuentes is saying, you're a pornographer, lock him up, and they're doing a chant at this giant event in this speech, saying, I'm not gonna say Tate was right, but maybe how does that reflect on me? And it's not an obsession of clout or of optics. These are your supposed friends. These are your friends. If you are the people you spend the most time with, how does that reflect on your character? And what does that even, how does it define you as a person? I have to do better. I'm not saying this is not about other people. I have to do better on associating with those who are on my side and those who aren't.
So there's this creator, his name is Sneako. If you don't know Sneako, long story short, he's a controversial YouTuber. I don't know what his category is specifically, but a lot of people call him quote unquote red pill, whatever that means. He's more of a political kind of channel. And very recently there's this event that happened that caused everyone to go against him, including his friends or people that he used to call friends. If you don't know the situation, I'm not going to explain it. Just know that in this specific situation, Sneako sacrificed his entire career, his entire self, just for the sake of for these people that he considered close, people he considered friends or just a companion, whatever it is. They betrayed Sneako. Oh, also, my name is Obi. Hello. For this one, I want to make this short video. I want to talk about Sneako, not him specifically, but the situation, exactly what happened, why it happened, and everything like that. You're gonna see what I mean soon. This one, I have a very specific name. It's not gonna be the title of the video, but that's gay. I shouldn't do that. So for this kind of topic, this is what I'm gonna name it. I'm gonna name it right over here: duality of friendships. I'm gonna make this story short about Sneako and the event that happened. Within the event, they've done something, and every person within that event blames Sneako for the bad things that have happened or whatever happened. And everybody, not just the public, not just people that always hated him, his friends as well, they went against Sneako and they say it's all Sneako's fault, it's all this guy's fault, this guy's to blame, we don't even like this guy, forget this guy. And then when that happened, there was a huge backlash, a huge outburst against Sneako. Nobody else but Sneako. It was a big old attack, it was not good, it was not fun, there were people getting doxxed. Pretty bad stuff. But what made that situation worse is that those same people that were in that event and say it's all Sneako's fault are the same people that Sneako defended throughout the times of those people going through hardships or bad times, whatever it was at that moment. So then that goes into the topic. Friendship, the duality of friendship, the good and the bad. Because in this situation, we have a man that risked his entire career here, his entire life, for these people that weren't so good, and these people that well, in return, shat on him, fucked them over. And whatever opinion you have towards the man or towards the friends, it's unfair for you to sacrifice everything for a person and that person to turn around and put you down. That's not right. Okay, let's start with this. What does it mean to have a friend? What's the definition of a friend? What does it look like to have a friend? Why you should have a friend? Yeah. To have a friend, it's a pretty simple concept. It's not that complicated. It's not that difficult. It's just to have somebody by your side, someone you can trust, someone you can love, someone you can care for. That's what it means to have a friend. But to have friendship, there's one piece that needs to be in every single friendship there is, and that's vulnerability. Vulnerability is probably the biggest part of what makes a friendship a friendship. With women, it could be emotional. It could be whatever women talk about, I don't know. But for a male friendship, it'll be very, very different. Because males connect very differently than females. Females is more emotional, it's more compassionate. For a male, it's more aggressive. It could be more straightforward as well, but it also takes more time. That also means a friendship between two men will always be more powerful than a friendship between two women. That's not subjective, that's facts. Now, where's my evidence for that? I don't have any evidence for that, just debate that in the comments, I don't care. But this is how it works, and I wrote it down for you, so study that for me. So there's vulnerability, passion, and loyalty. There we go, that's better. Vulnerability, passion, and loyalty. I believe those three is what makes a friendship between two men a friendship. and a very strong one as well. But that's also why male friendships are also the most persistent. If you're a man, if you see a childhood friend that you haven't seen in 10 years at Walmart shopping for underwear, I don't care, shopping for whatever it is, you approach that man, boom, you connect instantly. It's that easy. And the reason why that is that's just how we're wired. I can't give you a scientific explanation because well, there is a scientific explanation, I'm not gonna deny that, but that's just how it is. I see someone that I've shown care for as a younger younger person. As a boy, I've shown them that kind of attention and love. So I'm gonna continue that care and that affection, because that's how I'm doing, at least. I don't know about you guys. And even as you get older, it's the idea of suffering together. That's what allows a really good friendship to be built. That's the entire point of a really good friendship, is to suffer together, grow together, and become great together. That's what makes a relationship, whether it's an emotional between a male or female, or a regular friendship, whatever it is, the struggle, the bonding, loyalty, and the passion, that's all that it takes to create something wonderful together. But then that brings up a very different question. What if that's broken? What if that just is completely, what if that loyalty, that trust, that bonding, what if that's broken? What happens then? But when that's broken, so many things can happen. So many things can be developed in a bad or possibly a good way. I'm not going to talk about that right now. What I'm going to talk about instead is something different. In Sneako's situation, he allowed these people, they could be good people or they could be bad people, whatever they are, he allowed these people into his life. And well, look where he's at right now. He sacrificed everything, he sacrificed himself, and in return, he got nothing. So then the question should come back, should you even have friends? But then that brings a question that I believe is very important. Is it worth having a friend? Is it worth opening up to people that you think are good? You don't know that they're good, you just think that they're good, for the sake of having someone around, and for the potential, the possibility of getting broken, getting hurt in a really bad way. And to answer that question, I'll answer like this, because I can't really give you a proper answer. My mind is a little bit clogged up right now, so I'll try my best to give you what I can. A long time ago, when I was younger, someone very, very important to me told me that whatever friends I have, I was a little boy, whatever friends I have, they're not my friends. I think they're my friends, but they're not really my friends. And when they told me that, I was like, what the fuck? I spend so much time with these people, and for you to tell me they're not my friends, it blew my mind, wow. And mind you, I was a little boy. I couldn't even think more than like 5 minutes a day. I can't even think right now, what am I even saying? But they told me that, I was young. I took it to heart. I went back to school, and something changed. I didn't choose to change, but it's just something changed subconsciously. And I began to act, well, I don't know if I began to act a little different, but things started to feel a little different. I started to disconnect a lot more. And then I changed school. It's completely far away from the people that I'm used to. And then it was really difficult for me to connect to that new school, with anybody in that new school. And I was alone. I was alone for a very, very long time. And then I changed schools again. And I was alone. And then again, and I was alone over and over and over again. I was alone for a very, very long time. Now, could I blame that to that individual that told me to not to think that my friends are my friends? No, that's a pussy shit. I'm not gonna think like that. But the idea is that somewhere within me had the thought of, this is how things work. Whoever connects with me isn't really close to me, doesn't really belong in my life. So they're gonna come into my life. I'm gonna do whatever I will do with them for whatever I need. Now, could I have put that blame onto that person that told me not to trust anybody? Everybody just BS. Probably, I could have, but I'm not, because it's some pussy shit. I'm not a pussy. However, that also brings a different question, a really important question. If I was not told that thing, how would my life look like? Would I probably have friends? Would I have probably connected with people a lot better? And I will never deny that that thought comes to my head constantly. It's an idea that I can never shake off. Because maybe life could have been different. Maybe I could have had friends. Maybe I could have connected far better than how I connect now. But what I will never deny, I will never deny this, is that whatever that person told me protected me from so much. Was the protection worth it? But I won't deny that it's made me a better man than what I think it would have done if I wasn't told that. Possibly not, but that's where I'm at. But that then brings two stories. You have one story that had all these friends and they all left that person. And you have a story like mine where there was really nothing around, nobody around. And I could blame it on others. I could definitely blame it on others if I was a pussy. But I do believe in self-accountability. I believe in extreme accountability. And I want to take accountability for that. I believe it's my fault for not allowing myself to connect the way I probably should have connected. Probably anybody should connect. Because I won't deny this. I will never deny that the thought comes to my mind of maybe if I didn't have that idea, maybe I'll go to different schools or I'll be with different people and I'll build this incredible friendship, this incredible small community of mine in person, and I'll have a grand old time and I'll be drunk every single day or something like that. I don't know what people do nowadays. But then you have the opposite side of that. You have the side of this person allowed so many people, good or bad, so many people into his life, and now he's paying the consequence for that action. But now on the flip side, I'm paying the consequences for my actions for not allowing myself to connect. Now it's very difficult for me to connect, and it sucks, but you know, So what's the moral of the story? What's the entire point of this video? And I'm gonna stop you right there because there is no point, there is no moral. I'm gonna finish off with this. Some of you guys don't know how to connect with people. Some of you guys don't have friends. Some of you guys are alone every single day. And this is 100% what I will say about that. I advise against that. I strongly advise against that. The younger you are, the better. And I genuinely mean that. I'm not saying trust anybody that comes to your life, but what I am saying is that loneliness is a very difficult thing to go through for your entire life. It's a very, very important thing, a very important aspect to develop in, a very important event to be in, and you want to have lonely moments very, very often to develop yourself, but for that to be your entire life is very dangerous. So in your own way, figure out to connect. If you're a man, as I said, loyalty, passion, and what's the other thing that I said? Papa, you remember, say it for me. Good. Vulnerability, there we go, vulnerability, my gosh. But then on the flip side, if you're someone that connects with everybody and you have too many friends and you think, oh man, my life is so good because I have all these people in my life, I'd also be wary of that. It's good to have people in your life, it's super good. And it's very, very nice to have someone to talk to, have someone to grow with, have someone to look back at and talk about, hey, we did all of these things together. It wasn't just you, it was me with this other person. That's a very beautiful thing. But I will never advise you to always remain in that state, because loneliness is very, very powerful. And to develop within your lonely moments, that's a huge part of life. And if you don't have that, you're missing out so much, and you're gonna pay for that in the future. So all in all, what I'll conclude with this is wisdom. Wisdom is the only thing that I advise you all to take away from this. I cannot give you the blueprint of saying, look at these specific traits on an individual to see if they're good. That's not for me to do. Every single person is different. Every single needs are different for every single individual. But I will leave you with this. The one thing that I've always looked for, could be a friend, could be a loved one, it could be a partner in some shape or form, is do they lift others up? Can I trust this individual to lift me up when I cannot get up myself? That also goes with a loving partner, a friendship. I just said it. But then again, I tell you that, but I don't know. So I don't really have that. So I advise you to figure it out yourself. So maybe you can help me sometime too. That would probably be cool. That's all I have. I need to work out. Ugh. Yo man, what's going on? How are you?
Good, and you?
Doing good,
Do you
man.
film your workouts? Or you
No,
like, teach it?
no, it's I work out while
Studying?
not studying. I don't know how to describe it. It's commentary,
Yeah.
but a mixture of education and I guess comedy. Right now it's education.
Are you, like, what do you talk about? If you talk about, like, just
Anything in my mind.
Oh, that's sick.
Anything. And right now it's literally getting no views.
Yeah.
No views at all. But I did pretty good on Instagram a few months ago. it got to 10,000 followers. So I'm like,
That's
oh,
sick,
oh
bro.
shit, I could actually do this.
Yeah.
So I'm just recording as much as I can.
Sick. What's your Instagram? I'll give you a like.
Yeah, I'll give it to you right now. Because right now I'm struggling, man. It just so what I do is I come into these videos, no scripts, no idea what's going on.
It's like natural that way. So it's like
It's natural, but
trade-off.
times like right now I'm struggling, man, because I'm trying to speak,
Yeah.
but my speaking's not the best, my mind's not the best right now, and I'm not talking about something that I kind of care about a
Are
little
you
bit.
always able to like talk during your workouts? Because like sometimes like I like I'm mute the entire time. And, like I have no thoughts.
That's a really big part, and that's kind of why I'm doing this, to teach myself how to talk while doing activities.
Yeah, it's sick.
So it's you know how when you watch teachers, or there's some teachers that they're very, very bad. I want to learn how to teach while doing activities, so I can kind of like mix both. That makes sense. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. You could do it, dude. If you ever need assistance on that, just let me know.
I'll let you get back to your
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. I'll see you later.